Samuel Monroe Jr. has died. He was 52, and if you grew up on 1990s American film, you have seen this man repeatedly. You have almost certainly never known his name. Here's the thing, nobody tells you. He is in 5 of the defining films of an entire movement in American cinema, including, and this is the part that gets me, the movie that was made to make fun of that movement. He was never the lead. He was never on the poster. He was in the room for all of it. So let's go back to 1991. A 24-year-old film school graduate named John Singleton makes a movie out of the screenplay he wrote as his undergraduate thesis at USC. The film is Boyz and the Hood. It takes $57 million at the box office, and in February of 1992, Singleton becomes the first black director ever nominated for an Academy Award, and the youngest person of any background ever nominated in that category. That record still stands. And Hollywood, which had been extremely comfortable not funding films like this, suddenly noticed there was money in the thing it had been ignoring. What follows is roughly 7 years of studios handing real budgets to very young black filmmakers, and those filmmakers making some of the most durable American movies of the decade. 1993. 2 brothers, twins, 21 years old, no feature to their name, direct a film called Menace II Society. It cost about $3.5 million. It made around 30. It is still, 3 decades later, the film people reach for when they want to describe what that era looked like. And in that cast, in his first professional job, 19 years old, is Samuel Monroe Jr. Now watch what happens. 1995. Rusty Cundieff directs Tales from the Hood, with Spike Lee producing, a horror anthology, 4 stories, using the machinery of a monster movie to talk about police violence, domestic abuse, and gang life. It is far stranger and far angrier than anyone expected, and it has aged extraordinarily well. Samuel Monroe Jr. is in it. 1996. F. Gary Gray directs Set It Off. 4 women in Los Angeles, played by Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett, Vivica A. Fox, and Kimberly Elise, pushed into robbing banks. $9 million budget, over $41 million at the box office. It is one of the very few films of the era to put women at the center of that story, and it is the one people still argue about hardest. Samuel Monroe Jr. is in that too, and in the same year, 1996, the Wayans family releases a parody of the entire genre with a title so long nobody can say it in one breath. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Here's why that matters. You do not get parodied until you are big enough to be a category. That film is proof the movement had become a genre, recognizable enough that an audience could be trusted to get every joke. Samuel Monroe Jr. is in the parody as well. Think about that for a second. He is in the film that defined the wave, and he is in the film that sends up the wave, 2 years apart. 1998. Ice Cube writes and directs his first feature, The Players Club. Bernie Mac, Jamie Foxx, Terrence Howard, John Amos, and Lisa Ray in her first starring role. Samuel Monroe Jr. plays Junior. 5 films, 7 years, never once the name above the title. And this is the part I actually want you to keep because it is easy to miss. We remember movements by about 6 people. We remember the directors, Singleton, the Hughes brothers, Gray, Cundieff, Cube. We remember whoever was on the poster. And that is genuinely how memory works, but it is not how a movement works. A movement is made of the people who keep showing up. The ones who take the 4th build part, then the one with 3 scenes, then the one with a name and no last name, and who are quietly the connective tissue holding an entire era together. Every wave in film history has them. Almost none of them get remembered by name. He was doing that work at 19, and he kept doing it, and the reason those films feel like they belong to the same world is partly that the same faces move through all of them. The wave itself receded, the way waves do. Studios moved on, but it had already proved the thing it needed to prove, that these films could be made, that they could make money, and that there was an audience that had been there the entire time, waiting to be counted. Samuel Monroe Jr. died on the 26th of August, 2026, after 4 months in hospital. He was 52. He is survived by his wife, his mother, and 3 children. So here's what to keep. He was never famous. He was something rarer and, honestly, more useful than that. He was reliable. He showed up. He did the work. He made other people's films better for 7 straight years, in the middle of one of the most important things that happened in American cinema in that decade. You know his face. Now you know his name.